On today's Hot Zone, we're going to take a flight over the destroyed country of the Bahamas. It's coming up right now.
This is the Hot Zone. Engaging with the news in a whole new way, international war correspondent Chuck Holton brings insight into areas of crisis and lets you help those affected.
Hey folks, Chuck Holton here. I'm back at my friend Tim Miller's house, and it's almost midnight, and I've had a really long and busy day. So I've got to produce this package for CBN, the 700 Club, that'll go on Thursday, I guess. What day is today? Yeah, it'll go on Thursday morning, which should be when you're watching this podcast. And I'm going to lengthen that piece out and make it the podcast today because there's so much more material that I got that I wasn't able to cram into the 2 minutes they gave me to tell the story on CBN. So I'm going to give you a more unadulterated look at what I did today, flying around, looking at the devastation and putting some food and other supplies in people's hands who needed it desperately. And I want you to know that you help with that. You want to help the people with the devastation in the Bahamas, people who have lost everything. Well, you can donate to the Hot Zone, and we'll make sure it gets into the right hands, and we'll show you what you did with your money. And so I hope you'll donate. You can do that through patreon.com/hotzone, or you can make it tax deductible by going to victormarks.com/hotzone, or just send it through PayPal. PayPal, my address is holtocw@gmail.com. And so thanks for watching. Check this out. Here's what I did today.
The rough seas are finally starting to subside in Dorian's wake, and it's a beautiful sunny day over the Bahamas. But for the residents of these beleaguered islands, the sun is both a blessing and a curse. Things are finally starting to dry out, but without food, water, or in many cases shelter, the day's heat is just another form of misery.
So we just finished flying over some of the barrier keys and Abacos, and I can say I don't think there's one tree on any of these islands that survived. No. It is just as brown and everything's broken. There surprisingly are a few houses that appear to be untouched, but that is, I would say, the minority. The rest of these houses are almost a total loss, and even the ones that did survive most likely are not going to be inhabitable because all of the infrastructure on those islands are gone. There are a 500 feet apart. I mean, this area, Jesus. Is this Marshtown? This is. This is where my friend that we took out. Oh, okay. His business is right there. I see. So we're flying over Marshtown right now, and I can see a few cars out driving around and people sort of wandering around in the streets a little bit, but there are very few homes that have intact roofs on them, and you know that's a real problem because with no trees and no roofs, that means that there's very little shade, and that means there's very little shade and there's very little water to drink as well. Now, right back here behind me is a church we just passed, and there's a large crowd of people gathered around the church, obviously looking for supplies. Most of the town here, Marshtown, that I can see, most of these streets are still flooded off on my right.
Hundreds of thousands are without food and clean water, so relief groups are moving quickly to avoid a humanitarian disaster. CBN's Operation Blessing is already on the ground in Nassau, preparing to bring in teams to provide medical care, food, clean water, and water filtration systems, as well as assess their shelter needs.
We just flew over a big oil storage area on Grand Bahama, and the tops of some of the oil tanks have blown off, and there's crude oil spilled everywhere. That is going to take some time to clean up.
My pilot Dave has been flying these skies for over 30 years.
You've been here after other hurricanes, but it wasn't as bad. No, Donnie and Floyd that's the last one we were all talking about. Right. Floyd come right over that same kind of area, but nothing like this.
This is Sandy Point on the southern edge of the Abaco Islands. It's one of the few places that aircraft can land and take off that's not underwater. So, a little bit of aid that's coming in here, coming to this place, and there's already a big group of people that are waiting for it. Americans are heeding the call for help.
Since you guys left on your recon flight, the logistics have opened up and taken off here at our operations at Island Time. The resources are being delivered to be dispersed from here to the islands, and we're just taking it a day at a time now. They're in horrible situation over there. The Abacos, Marsh Treasure, Hopetown, Guanakee, it's gone. It's virtually gone, which your videotape will show. It's really, really, really bad. We've got people coming in from all over the place, literally the country. As I told you earlier, we got 2 lorries coming, already unloaded, 1 full of water. We got another one coming with MREs, and that's just going to be the beginning of what we've got. Everything's staging here at Paul's Peffley's place, which is Island Time Cargo, and it's just now going to be day in, day out for an undetermined amount of time because it's just horrible.
So what do you all need? I mean, you've got a lot of people bringing stuff, but you need help with the gas, right?
We need help with supporting of the aircraft, which should be fuel, because that's a hands-on, day-to-day, actually hour-to-hour situation. Because as the weather, which will cooperate now, but as the sunlight allows us, because we're a day VFR operation, we'll probably only be able to do 4 flights a day per airplane. Of our 4, we already have a couple more on the side that people have brought into us. But fuel is the hands-on thing we need most immediately. As far as resources for out there, tarps, medical supplies, which we have a separate hangar set aside for medical supplies that will be secured. I mean, everything's secured, but that will be locked down when no one's here. Clothes. I mean, it seems silly. Day-to-day clothes, things that we take for granted: socks, underwear, T-shirts, hygiene items. Yeah, chainsaws we've taken a couple out, which isn't going to put a dent in it because the whole of the Abaco chain is laying down, and you have videotape to back that up. I mean, it's going to be, I would say, weeks just of hands-on labor work. Chainsaw and man hours just to clear what they're going to have to move just to be able to start helping themselves, because everything's got to be rebuilt.
People are coming from all over South Florida with donations of food and water and everything else and bringing it to Island Time charter service over here, because the difficulty now is going to be getting these supplies over to the islands.
Hi, we're Island Time Cargo, and we just made a couple reconnaissance flights over to the Bahamas, stopped in a couple places that we could get into. Some of the biggest outpouring for things are chainsaws, tarps. They need the round plastic head nails for the tarps. They just need to be able to cover things because they've pretty much lost everything. Food's the biggest thing, and fuel. Thank you.
Okay. And where are you collecting it? And what are you how many flights are you planning to send, and that sort of thing?
We are collecting in 3 locations, but we're flying out of Palm Beach Airport. But basically, the main collection point is the Lantana Airport, Hangar 402, Island Time Cargo, and then up in Stewart. So we have the 3 locations that we're flying out of. What else?
How many aircraft are you sending, and how long are you going to do this?
We have, right now we've got 4 planes in the air. We have one of the planes that holds 3,000 pounds worth of cargo. That's going up in the morning. We plan to do this until there's no longer a need. So we plan to do this probably the whole month of September.
And so people are paying for the gasoline. You're sort of donating the pilots and the planes, right? Is that?
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Well, I'm aware that there's been a donation for the gasoline, and we've had various corporations and individual people donate supplies.
But from the air, it's clear that this once lush tropical paradise will now take months, if not years, to recover. From the Bahamas, I'm Chuck Holton.
All right, that's all I've got for today's podcast. Thanks for being a part of it. I hope you'll stick around. We've got a lot more good stuff coming. And I hope you realize how much work this is that I'm doing just for you. So you're welcome.
The Hot Zone is produced by Amy Holton and Livefire Media. Copyright 2019.